Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah.
We're too close together. Yeah, there's like two people like kind of like hop around.
I ended up little help like next to me, and I ended up going around there. I was going on like a part of the track. Also, on like that part that's like paved but not track.
Like on the inside of your system, or yeah, I was on like the inside. Never tried to not keep it. I can do one minute. Don't have any idea if she's not. Here it's me. I'm trying to do it. Jackson has to be here in 10 minutes. Sweet.
Send it to me.
At least right after we have all five. At least right after the
Nowhere.
Okay, that's fine.
But I will start doing that.
I was at 3 days because I was saying that I
First Wednesday of the time? Yeah, that works. Yeah, the dishes are over when you want it done. I'm really tired, but I will get it done.
No,
Good idea.
Are you offering the bankroll?
I would vote. I can eat breakfast. I guess I can eat breakfast. The rest of you
There. Wonderful.
Oh, we have 4 Oh, yeah.
Morning, everybody. We'll get some food.
Regular ice. But I love it.
Christine said, I have the drill workout. I love sitting down for food and this. You want to get some food? Morning, Vicente. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good.
You're early in the morning, huh? At least you're honest with me. That's what I like. Austin's got 2 plates over there. Eat it, eat it. Everybody ready? Yep. Alright. Boys in the back, keep getting your food. I'm just going to start a summer roll. Call this meeting of the South Dakota School Mines Student Association Senate to order. Mr. Vice President, please call the roll.
Baumeister.
Here.
Kern.
Here.
Butcher.
Here.
Camps.
Here.
Clausen.
Here.
Halstead.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Jensen. Here. Jessen.
Here.
King. Keel.
Here.
Leonard.
Here.
Lordson. Meyer.
Here.
Sattler. Sanchez.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Stolman.
Here.
Severson.
Here.
Yermolovich.
Here.
Devin Kwan.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here on such short notice and such an early hour. I feel like we're in the Continental Congress or something. I don't know. But, have you all had a chance to look at the agenda? I sent it out on, well, I guess 9 hours ago. It should be earlier than that. That's my apologies, but had to type up some things. And as you can see, there's nothing too crazy in the agenda. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Agenda approved. Open floor guests, we have, oh, I guess it's under open discussion. I'll just bring her up in open floor, how about that? Katie Walls from Res Life is going to be here to talk to us about the housing and meal plan survey. So Katie, the floor is yours if you'd like. Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Good
morning, everyone. I wanted to take this opportunity to be here and available, and so I was invited to speak during this section and give you the logistics brief overview and why this section is important to me as a representative to the committee that is working on 3.7.1 for the Board of Regents. So as you know, Jordan Leonard is working with me. She's the student representative from Senate to that work group with me. The survey, Dr. Joe?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So just as a point, we have 5 freshman senators, and it's their very first meeting.
Oh.
So that's good context for you. They may not know the discussion.
Perfect. All right. There is a work group happening at the Board of Regents level where there are representatives from every single student senate and a representative from the staff, whether it's the VP, Dean of Students, or Housing and Operations type level, where a delegate from each campus and Board of Regents team is looking at 3.7.1, which is the Housing and Meal Plan Requirement Policy. So we have students and staff serving from every campus to have discussions on how is it benefiting students, what does that policy look like, what are the exemption criteria, and it's been broken into subgroups and sub-working committees. I was on the group that is looking at all of the data and analysis for what is the occupancy and vacancy rates for openings in the local community. So we did data analysis on all of the vacancy rates in different types of rentals, different rental levels, or is it low income, medium income, high income, or at least rental rates. We did diagnostics on what is the average vacancy rate in a given city or municipality in the local vicinity to campuses. Could they handle a large influx or a decrease in rentals from students? What would that do to the local community? What does a typical commute radius look like to and from a campus? So I was on the group that did all the data analytics for what does the local housing market look like. That was my group. Jordan was able to serve on the work group that worked on building the survey, and so they met to talk about what types of survey questions would help collect data that the Board of Regents could use, what types of questions would shed light on the student experience, their perspective, and it looks like, from what I can tell, the questions that were selected for that committee group were really about trying to gather information and feedback on what has the student experience been like living on campus so far, using a meal plan on campus so far. And really, a lot of the background on this has been that the last legislative session and in the last few years, there's been a lot of pushback from students and others in the South Dakota community about the 2-year live-on housing requirement. And there's been some vocal dissent towards having that 2-year requirement. But we hear a lot of the bad, we never hear a lot of the good. There's the mentality, the saying that you hear about the bad, but not about the good. And so this committee is trying to look at what do students need, what are the benefits, pros, cons, what can our communities handle, not handle, what is the student experience like? So that we know if we need to make tweaks and adjustments to the 3.7.1 policy, what might that look like? What are the areas that we're lacking? What are the areas where we might have strengths for on-campus housing and meal plans? Maybe we need to make some revisions. Is that at a policy level? Is that at a programming and educational level? Is that at a campus level? Do we have a couple of campuses where we're seeing very different reported experiences? So this is one of the many steps that we're taking to try to gather information to understand why are we seeing so much feedback, so much loud feedback about the live-in requirement statewide. And so why is it coming up in the legislative session that way? Before Board of Regents go into their next policy review session, we can have really good feedback as a committee if we need to make some proposals, some changes to that, some revisions, or if we need to make recommendations to campus about some of the data that we receive, because every campus is going to be taking the same survey. Where are we noticing that there are pockets? Where are we noticing that there are discrepancies so that we can send that information back to campuses as well? So this is, I believe, intended to really look at past lived-on experiences. The candidate pool for the housing and meal plan survey isn't all students, because not all students have used the housing and meal plan on a given campus. There are a ton of new students, a lot of non-traditional students who have only ever lived off campus. So the way the Board of Regents determine the population is that every single student in the Board of Regents system who has ever lived on campus, who is currently enrolled, will be receiving the survey. We've been sending out emails to warn people about those surveys and share some information about what living on campus looks like. The last one that went out last week shared about exemption requests, but there's information on who's eligible for those. The one previous to that shared additional information on statistics on why living on campus can save time on commute, about why there are benefits to having a meal plan, how much prep time you can save by not having to prepare food for yourself. But the last one was about exemption requests and who is or isn't eligible. Click this link to go to the page that has the policy for that. So the next couple of emails that are going to go out are coming exclusively from Qualtrics, the platform that's sending the survey directly to students. And that's because every single student is going to get a unique URL to that survey if they are eligible for that survey. That way somebody can't take it twice, they're submitting their own data. So it's going to be coming from SD Board of Regents is what it's going to look like if you see that subject line and who it's titled as, like my emails come from KG Walls. But if you look at the actual email address and what it says, it's going to say no reply at qemailserver.com. And so this was in that last email that I sent last week at the bottom, so that students have a heads up that it's legitimate. So if anybody's talking about that, that is the one. That is what that looks like. It does look a little bit potentially fishy if they're worried about phishing. That is the one that is legitimate. But any student who is currently enrolled, who has ever lived on campus at any of the Board of Regents campuses, we are responsible at South Dakota Mines for sending those heads up emails to anyone who is a Mines home campus student. So we currently house a couple of students who are SDSU nursing students who are at the Rapid City Global campus. They're getting emails from their home campus because they receive emails from them. They're more likely to read emails from their home campus and their home program than they are from ours. Was potentially the logic for it's easier to track their home campus and keep data more separate that way. So we've been focusing on emails for our own campus. So that's some of the details there. It launches October 1st. So that first Qualtrics email is going to come out October 1st. The second one, I believe, is scheduled for October 6th, give or take 24 hours, just as a, hey, this is still out there, here's your link, continue to take this. And then on October 9th, I'm supposed to send another one from the Res Life email that says, hey, this is your last chance, you have 24 hours to take this survey. Any student that takes that survey gets $5 in Grubby Gold. I'm not sure how long it takes, but it's coming from the Board of Regents, so it's not on the South Dakota School of Mines to provide that funding. It's not coming from us, according to Heather Forney. They have money that's been delegated because they are taking responsibility. They know that this is important. They're not putting it back on the campuses to provide funding to pay for this, which is wonderful. We're appreciative of that. That's going to be a process that we work with them to make sure, I believe they're collecting email addresses of all of the parties that have submitted the form, the document, as the way that that's getting out to the students. I'll be helping with that process. This is really important to me because of the types of questions they're asking. It's about a lived experience in the halls. It's about, was this helpful for you or was this not helpful? They're going to be asking questions that don't have, I believe, a neutral option. So it's yes, was it helpful? No, was it not helpful? We're really hoping that that can be useful for us in helping shape our experience. What do we need to improve on? We do a housing survey that is in the spring semester about work orders and timeliness and about all of the other things that are operational. In the fall, we do one that's about the RAs and their experience and living on campus. We use those data and we make changes. We do renovations every summer. We take that feedback and I implement no less than 3 changes or try to make 3 bullet point changes from those surveys every single year. I want to use this data in the same way. So please, what I'm asking for is that students use the open-ended section of those question boxes to give us real feedback. To use that as an opportunity so that I can learn from what I need to know from you and from your peers so that I can make the changes that are important to you and your fellow students so that we can have a better, more robust experience for you students and promote the graduation rates and the success of more engineers and scientists from the student population. That's my elevator speech. Yeah.
So from a student senate perspective, we'd like to remain neutral on this topic. Can you tell us about like whether the Board of Regents is also being neutral in this or whether they're promoting one perspective or the other?
I think everybody acknowledges that this is a growth opportunity. We all recognize that we can't move forward without potential change. You all are an evolving population. I can't say that there's a single student that works in the Board of Regents office or somebody in your age range that works in the Board of Regents office. You have a shifting experience, a high school and college experience that's unlike anything that we had. I'm 34 years old. I have a very different background, a very different experience, and we know that. So if what we expect from a college housing and meal plan experience is different, we need that feedback. So we're not afraid of asking these questions, otherwise we wouldn't be sending out a survey. We need to know. We need to know the truth. With that, I think change is hard. I think everybody's intimidated by change. Nobody wants to go through that process. But if we receive feedback that says every single person is unhappy, I think we're going to have to take a critical look at things and say, where do we need to do better? So I don't know as though neutral is the right word. I think that we are all prepared for the eventuality of change. I don't think we're excited about it all the time. I think we want to be innovative. I think we want to build new buildings that have amazing features. It would be super cool to have an escalator on campus. I would love that. Do the maintenance concerns sound horrible? Absolutely. I'm excited to work with the senior design group on a tiny home development on a hill somewhere right now. I love that concept. Does it sound like a pain in the butt and a nightmare, and I don't envy the work that they're about to put in? Absolutely. So I don't know what's in the minds of all of the Board of Regents team right now, but at least a bunch of us as housing officers that are serving on the committee, and I'm hoping the student senate officers that are serving on this are hoping that we get feedback that allows us to move towards productive change. And I'm hoping that you all as senators can help promote it as we want real feedback. We want students to be honest. We want them to give true input that allows us to move forward and not just what we want to hear. I want them to give us the real story. I want them to get $5 for it. I don't have to pay for it. That'd be great.
Any other questions for Katie? Seeing none, all right, let's give her a round of applause. All right, moving on quickly here. Unfinished business, Austin Reed 25F005, Gunsmithing Committee, or Club, excuse me. Presented by Senator King, who is not here this morning, so I will fill in for that. We read this last week. They presented last week. Any questions on this resolution before I ask for any motions? Seeing none, do I have any motions? Senator Baumeister.
Motion to vote.
Motion to vote by Senator Baumeister. That would be seconded by Senator Severson. Mr. Vice President, please call the roll.
Baumeister.
Aye.
Burke. Aye. Butcher.
Aye.
Camps.
Aye.
Clausen.
Aye.
Halster.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Jessen.
Aye.
King. Keel.
Aye.
Lannert.
Aye.
Lordson. Meyer.
Aye.
Sattler. St. James.
Abstain.
Smith.
Abstain.
Stallman.
Aye.
Severson.
Aye.
Grimolovich.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you all for doing that. Moving on to the next thing, this is going to be new business, I believe now. Boston Read 25F006, outreach budget proposal, presented by Senator Baumeister, originated by the Student Affairs Committee.
I'll come up here.
Yep, read it, and we'll see this again next week. No decisions can be made today, but
Yeah, I read it. Alright, this is Boston Lee Resolution number 25, 006, 30th September 2025, originated by Student Affairs Committee, presented by myself, Senator Baumeister. Whereas the Student Association Senate seeks to strengthen relationships with registered student organizations and encourage their engagement with Senate committees to foster collaboration and improve campus life. And noting the Student Association Senate agency account contains $4,391 in unallocated funds, and whereas allocating $1,250 towards the Student Affairs Committee outreach will support the Student Affairs Committee in hosting up to 25 meetings with student organizations, providing incentives and support for participation while leaving all existing budget categories unaffected, and therefore be it resolved that $1,250 from the agency account be earmarked for the Student Affairs Committee Outreach Program project, and be it further resolved that any itemized expenditures for this project be approved by the Student Affairs Committee.
Any questions? Senator Meyer?
What does one of these meetings look like? We have 25 of them yet. Yeah, so this is our, for everyone else, this is our readjustment and reevaluation of what had been previously called the CIA project, which wasn't taken too kindly. And so we're going to be meeting with the student committee wants to meet with different organizations each week for the rest of the year and talk to them and help figure out where they're having issues and then help solve their. So if it's meeting with our financial committee, if it's meeting with a different committee where they're struggling, we can walk through what they can be doing to help make their process better and easier. That's our goal. I guess I meant, is it like an open forum, or are you going to summon like 3 or 4 clubs to one meeting? How are you going to?
So basically, the idea is just to shoot an email out to a couple of clubs at a time, and then we can format it to what they actually need. So like, hey, what do you need help with? Do you want, how are your finances? How's your advertisement and engagement? We can help with all those things. So say they have an issue with getting funds, we actually have our financial committee meet with them and figure things out. Or say they can't get enough members, we can help them figure out how to advertise. And just give them an idea about how to do it.
Senator Bowen?
I'm going to make a motion to table this discussion until next week. If you guys have any questions, anybody from the student affairs committee would be welcome and glad to answer any questions so that we can get this ball rolling.
Reading next week, right?
I guess.
All right. We'll see this next week. Senator Boston, do you have a follow-up point?
No, I was just going to second the.
Okay.
If our CFO wants to cover what the agency account is briefly in our different financial accounts, that'd be great.
Sure. So our agency account is an account that we kind of discovered over the summer here. It basically contains funds that we fundraised a while back. We weren't aware of this account, so it never got really allocated in our budget last spring when we kind of designed that. So it's just kind of sitting in an account. It doesn't build interest or anything, so just gotta spend it. That's another point to have it. Yeah.
Do you want to cover our other accounts as well?
Okay. We also have a GAP account. Our GAP account is where we get our Senate budget from. This is the one we go to the GAP committee every year to present for budget. This is the account that we get paid from, if those of you who want to get paid. It's also the funds that we use for travel to like Shed, where we go to Pier every day for a few days. And then we also have a CARE account. A CARE account is where we put all the money that we fundraised. So like things from like the monument fundraisers, from the Taco Bell fundraiser we did it not too long ago. That's money much like this one that doesn't accrue any interest, so we can spend it pretty much freely how we choose to.
Yeah. And just for point of reference, we'll do some executive introductions here. We're going to do a team building thing probably next week or the week after, so we can get to know everybody. This is my CFO, John Schock, Secretary Maddie Sequin. I'm the president, Jim Frosted, and this is VP Fine Week. Thank you, Senator Bill Washington. All right, moving on. We got resolution number 25S, 25F, it should be 007, excuse me. Originated by finance, presented by CFO Schock. Take it away.
Okay. Whereas the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers has approached the Finance Committee with a simple mental request to provide funding for travel to a national conference in Philadelphia early morning. And whereas the appropriate paperwork has been filed with the Finance Committee, and whereas the Finance Committee has deemed $1,925 as an appropriate amount to be allocated to the organization, and therefore be resolved by majority vote of the Student Association Senate and by the signature of the Student Association Senate President that $1,925 be allocated from the SOAP Related Funds account to the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. Is there any questions about this?
Why did this come through normal soap?
So it did come through the normal SOAP, but they kind of messed up their application last year. They forgot to put that they were going to fundraise this year, so they got docked really hard on their SOAP application.
Senator Stetson?
How many people are there?
There will be 3 people going to this conference for 4 nights.
Senator Burmeister?
I also want to note, I talked with President Costa as well over the summer about how there was the idea of limiting allocating funds for travel and lodging for national conferences that we didn't know was actually going to happen. And so this is one of the ways that we knew that we could circumvent that of allocating funds and it not getting used, was being able to present these requests as they came up and as needed.
When is this trip again?
This is at the end of the month, so it would be October, early November.
Okay. Senator Byrne?
I apologize, but wouldn't this create some like imbalance with other clubs? Because I feel like a lot of clubs could go to conferences if they wanted to. Like you could do a lot with $2,000. Yeah, and like there's a lot of other clubs that I think would be willing to go to conferences if they could get $2,000 from us. So if we say yes, we kind of have to say yes to the next one, and then the next one, before it's like, okay, so we're being
And, okay, to that point, if clubs want to go to national conferences, because there's a lot that do, what they should do is present it in their SOAP application every year. And then we would discuss that amongst the finance committee about, hey, is this super important? Does this benefit School of Mines? Does this benefit the students that go? Things like that. In this case, they presented on this in their SOAP budget for this current year, last year, but due to kind of a poorly designed SOAP application, they got docked really hard. So
that wasn't their original?
Yes.
Okay.
But they didn't have the current budget to go there.
Senator Keel?
So are we, I know with your SOAP money, you're required to fundraise a certain percentage.
Yes.
Are we going to charge this to their percentage for next year, or
yes.
What?
Any additional supplemental requests that they get for SOAP, it does increase their percentage that they have to fundraise for. Yep. And I've talked to them specifically about this.
Okay.
Senator Burmeister?
I understand this myself. My understanding is SOAP applications are discussed amongst the finance committee during SOAP applications and determined as whether or not these conferences are legitimate and viable and good for them to go to. And because you guys are presenting this, I would assume that you guys are viewing this as something that they should go to.
Okay.
All right. 2 last comments here, and then we're going to be done.
I just want to do a motion to table.
Okay.
Let's limit discussion.
Yep, limit discussion. All in favor of limited discussion, say aye.
Aye.
Any objections? We'll see this next week. Thank you. All right, now on to the fun part. Sorry for all the half hour. Resolution number 25F008, originally by the GR committee, presented by myself. Whereas the freshman class of South Dakota Mines on Wednesday, September 24th, 2025, elected 5 freshman students to represent the Illinois Student Association Senate for the fall and spring semesters of the 25-26 academic year, and noting Alfredo Salcido, is that how you pronounce it? Okay. Amelia Schaefbauer, Asher Claver, got it. Katie White and Timothy Graham have been chosen to represent the freshman body of the Student Association Senate, and therefore be it resolved by a majority of the Student Association Senate and the signature of myself that these 5 freshmen be approved and sworn in as freshman senators. Any questions? Motions? Senator Keel?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules, seconded by Senator Burmeister. Any other motions? Senator Byrne? Oh, excuse me. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Objections? Rules are suspended. Senator Byrne?
Motion to vote.
Motion vote by Senator Byrne, seconded by Senator Jessen, excuse me, it's an early morning. Mr. Vice President, please take the roll.
Walter.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Jensen. Aye. Jessen.
Aye.
King. Keel.
Aye.
Leonard. Lawrenson. Meyer.
Aye.
Statler. Senchins. Smith.
Aye.
Stallman.
Aye.
Severson. Kamalovich.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. I'll have you all come up here one time. Just line on up. So raise your right hand and repeat after me. As a member of the Student Association Senate
As a member of the Student Association Center
of the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology,
of the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology,
I state your name, do hereby affirm
do hereby affirm
to uphold the office of freshman senator,
to uphold the office of freshman senator,
to abide by the Student Association Constitution,
to abide by the Student Association Constitution,
and to represent the Student Association to the best of my ability.
and to represent the Student Association to the best of my ability.
All right, thank you. Congratulations. All right, you're part of the team now. You're stuck with us. Thank you all for doing that. Moving on here, we'll fast track this and we'll get everybody out of here. Open discussion. Katie already went. Thank you again, Katie, for that input. That was very helpful. CFO report.
Thank you for hearing me about the supplemental request from Society of Professional Hispanic Engineers. Look forward to reading that next week and the report.
All right. Any questions for CFO Shop? Seeing none. Vice President report.
We had a student federation meeting this past week, and we have more student federation and Puerto Rican stuff this week. Well, I'll let Jerry cover that. I've been working with Senator Meyer on survey for the planning department, so hopefully we'll be able to meet with Dr. LaRochelle on that survey this week. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Sorry, early morning,
Any questions for VPWE? Seeing none, moving on to my report. All right, here we go. I'll try to do this as quick as I can. Thank you all for participation in homecoming last week. It was a great success. I'm very tired from it still, but we're making it. Looking at this week, why we have this meeting right now, why you're here right now, is because Wednesday, when our meeting was going to happen, is a student federation and then a board of regents meeting. The board of regents meets on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, something along those lines. And they pick different universities to come to. They haven't come to Mines in a while because we've conveniently been under construction for what seems like forever. Neither here nor there. They're going to be up in Spearfish, Black Hills State, this coming Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. will be a student federation meeting. I'm the vice president of the student federation. What is student federation? Student federation is a body of executive director, president, vice president, and then a board of directors. Board of directors are usually the president and vice president from each board of regents school. South Dakota State, USD, Mines, BHSU, Dakota State, Northern, right? 6 universities. So essentially what's happening Wednesday, 3:30 p.m., Student Federation is hosting a meeting at BH. I'd like you all to be there. If you have the schedule and the opening, we will provide transportation. We can either carpool or figure out a car situation. There is going to be a Student Federation meeting at 3:30, an opportunity for professional headshots. So, if you're coming, bring good clothes. And then there's a social with Board of Regents staff and personnel. That's a good time for networking, talking about some of these issues, talking about housing and meal plan stuff, talking about whatever you want to talk about with them, what's going on at Mines, what's good at Mines, what you think can change at Mines, stuff like that. It's good to network with these people. That's Wednesday. We'll come back Wednesday evening, back here to wrap it. Thursday is a breakfast. They always have a student and regent breakfast at 7:15, 7:30. That's early. I know it's early. But that's Thursday morning. Nice breakfast just like this. And we have that for about an hour and 20 minutes. The board meeting starts at around 9:15. Vice President Wee and I will be presenting on Mines updates, as well as VHE Student Senate will give updates. Each university president will give updates. The board will give their updates. They're looking at stuff like post-tenure review and housing meal plan stuff, and all these different important things that can really have a big impact on students. So what I'd like to see now is a show of hands. I know I sent this up in the Signal group chat. We'll get you guys on Signal next week. It's an app that we use for quick communication instead of email. But Senator Baumeister, did you have a point?
Question, but
Okay. What I'd like to see now is who would like to come Wednesday. We will leave here at 2:15 p.m. on Wednesday. And I need some numbers. Okay, can you mark this down here? Keep them raised, people. No one is at a hand? No? Okay. This is for Wednesday evening, 2:15. We will be leaving here. We will gather here, leave here, go up to BH, and be back that night after the dinner, after the social. All right, we have Senator Jensen. I'm sorry, my eyes are bad. We have Senator Baumeister. I'm going to take that as a yes. It's fine if you don't, but I'm taking that as a yes. Senator Meyer. We have Senator Clobber, Senator Keel, and CFO Shop. You too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I think
sorry.
you got me.
Senator Salcedo.
You stick Clobber for Salcedo.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No,
But he wanted to go too. So you want to go too, Salcedo? Okay, Salcedo wants to go too.
Okay, so I have Ivan, Josiah, Austin, John, Asher, and Alfredo. Anyone else on this?
I don't think so. Josiah?
Would this be considered excused absence?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
All right. Now, quickly, a raise of hands for Thursday morning. This is the meeting where it will be the breakfast at 7:15. We'll leave here at before dawn. It'll be probably like 6:20, 6:15, something like that. Once again, we'll provide transportation. The board meeting will happen at about 9. It will be over at about 12 to about 1. We should be back here for sure no later than 2 p.m. And might even be before that. Last time they ended about 11:45. We were back here by about 12:45. Show of hands for who wants to do that. Senator Keel. Senator Sessions. Anybody else? Once? Twice? 3 times. Sold. All right. We have Senator Keel, Senator Sessions for Thursday morning, along with me and Vice President Wee. Is that correct? All right. Let's see. What else do I have? So I will provide you an update from Student Federation and the board after that meeting happens. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, October 8th. Probably impact. I do want to do a meeting. The semester's getting away on us here. I do want to do a meeting at Tier Bean Coffee House. They want student orgs to come, and they have a big, beautiful meeting room. They have a great projector. It's wonderful. That may or may not be, it will not be actually October 8th. I know that it won't, because I'm going to try to get pictures, professional pictures for us that we were supposed to do Wednesday. Student Fed messed us all up. We're going to try to do those October 8th with Jillian, our marketing person. We'll see what she says. We're going to take group pictures at the Arch and in front of McGlory, you know, just get some good stuff in there. We're also having the executive chef from Sodexo coming on the 8th and present to us, right? I've started hearing some rumblings. The food was good in the first couple of weeks, and I heard some rumblings yesterday that it's on the teeter-totter going to that abyss again. I'm not sure. I haven't eaten there in a week, so we'll see. But he's coming in, so give him your attention. Bring some thoughtful questions. Not just complaints, but bring some thoughtful questions and some input on what you'd like to see, okay? The week after that, Rob Sales, Wellness Center Director, will be coming in to talk to us as well. So be prepared for that. We're seeing those resolutions next week. Thank you all again for coming this morning. End of my report. Any questions? Seeing none. Moving on to international report.
Yep. So I hope it's going to be quick, but overall the questionnaire form we sent out had only one response, and it seems like from what I was talking to people, they don't want to deal with it at all, and they actually more concerned with what's happening outside of school in terms of law. So, and talking about that, so for those of you who don't know, the recent executive order that was signed proclaims to put a $100,000 H-1B on any H-1B application, and from my understanding, Donald Trump decided to hype it all up during signing that executive order by saying the false claim that it's first of all going to be an annual fee and apply to all the H-1B applications at all, which spiked a lot of concerns among the companies, like hiring managers, department heads, which is not true. So, like, that's a big deal for, like, for example, a couple of my friends got a couple of months with like HRs that were planning to hire them, which declined their offers because they thought they were going to have to pay $100,000 for them, which is not true. So, specifically, this executive order applies to only the people who are not in the country or have not had any prior visa experience. But that's me telling you, not the government or Homeland Security telling the hiring manager or the department head. So the department heads has also had problems. Like, for example, one of my friends came and talked to them about having a master's degree, and they said, we don't actually recommend you doing that. You do all this stuff going on. And then when they realized it doesn't apply to you, people who are on visa and are in the country, they said, okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Huh.
Overall, that's a good report.
Okay. Questions for Senator Yurmalovich? Seeing none? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Weed.
So are you going to send out an email to the international students to clarify some of that?
I mean, most of the international students already know it.
Okay.
We kind of know what's written down there since we read what is there. But I would say it would be beneficial to send out to the department heads, but it's not really like that. They don't really deal with all this stuff. It's particularly still impacting people being hired, for example.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, veteran report.
The brisket tickets are officially on sale now, so talk to somebody from the welding club or go down to the VRC and find one of us. Get the Wagyu before it's wag on, which is happening pretty quick because it's supposed to be, I can't say that, it's supposed to be very good. Otherwise you'll get stuck with just normal brisket smoked by whole smokers. Can't think of nothing else.
All right. Any questions for Senator Hill? Seeing none, graduate report.
Tailgating was a smashing success. They did a hot wings challenge at the tailgating. I'm still planning on doing the suggestion box at the next GSS meeting. Other than that, no report.
All right.
No report.
Any questions for Senator Baumeister? Seeing none, non-graduate report.
Nothing to report.
All right. That's pretty easy. Constitution Committee.
No report.
Thank you. PR Committee.
Alright, so Paint the Town and the Laundry Days Parade was a success. So special thanks to those who helped out. I think that the Board of Base mascots certainly elevated our float, so that was a very good idea. And one thing, right after this meeting, I would like for the volunteers to use those mascots that I've got to film a reel for social media. So I know we're supposed to give those back today. So if I can get some helping hands to make that, that'd be
Yep.
and
All right.
Do you need people to sign up for that right now?
I probably need like 4 to 5.
I think we got, are you free after this? No?
I can't be free.
Can or
I
can't?
can be free.
Okay. Oh, so
Then you'll be free.
So we got two more. Who wants it? Senator Baumeister.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I saw you smile. Is that good, partner? 4? Got it. Any questions for Senator Severson? I will also task you with a task. This coming weekend is the Black Hills Brawl, October 4th, Saturday. I believe it's at 6 p.m. Is that right, Corey? Joe, do you know? It's somewhere around there. We'll get you the details. We're going to be hosting President Tandy, President Elliott edition of Women on Fire, or Faculty on Fire, whatever you want to call it. We're going to name it something different. But I'll have you and I collaborate, Senator Severson, on what type of wings. I want them to be real hot. And then somebody get to MC it. It'll probably be up at the Lions tailgate before the game, is what we're thinking. And then right now I'm working with Bailey Frolic on a halftime collaboration between Lions and Black Hills State. So, 6? All right, 6 p.m. is the game. That's up at BH, folks. Really nice stadium, lots of people. So bring the heat. All right, GR Committee.
No report.
Thank you. Student Affairs Committee.
So I ended up talking with Kareem about the student affairs, or pretty good conversation. So as far as the people's, just the scanning, that's kind of the genie's out of the bottle there. You're gonna have to scan in the future, you're gonna have to turn your resume that way. But as far as like having to go through the entire application process where you're sitting there at the career fair, which was kind of an issue for some people, they got a lot of time. We're hoping to maybe talk to the employers about not doing that in the future. Some other ideas that we had were maybe, well, for one thing, if you guys have any companies that were absolutely horrible to talk to, please just let me know so we'll report them. Because we do have a very small blacklist of companies that just aren't good to have a career there. If there's any that are just not useful, not helpful to us as students, then we don't want it there anymore. As far as the career fair plus, we know a lot of complaints about just it being another app, but it really does help the career services, and it is actually a decent app. I'm usually not a fan of other apps, but it's one that you can download or just use in your browser real quick, and it's super useful. It's updated like real time. If someone drops out the last day, they update it. So it has a map, it has what majors are looking for, what years they're looking for, all that stuff. So that's going to be a thing in the future. It's not going to be, oh, we're going to change the app. That's going to be the app going forward, most likely. And then, yeah, we had some other ideas, but I'm going to have another meeting with her, so expect more next time. Oh, and then one last thing. Now that we have all of our senators, expect the, everyone said that so far, the class committees, if you will. Just expect an email about that. You guys will have to meet, give me a little mini report. Shouldn't be super hard. End the report.
All right. Any questions for Senator Bomas?
I want to add on to the report really quickly. At the Armadillos night, I ended up talking with the owner of Armadillos. There's a reason why we don't have a discount with them, because the prices are so low that they can't do it. But the owner is going to work with the Student Affairs Committee to actually give us an item of our choosing, whatever we want it to be, and name however we want it to be a blind item on the menu. So as soon as, if we can get the PR to help put together a survey possibly to get the general consensus as to what they would like to see that item be, that would be a lot of fun to get that going.
I got an idea for you. Just call it a hell of a scoop. All right. Thank you for the answer report. Any questions? No? Seeing none. Campus ad hoc committees. You got anything for me?
The beautification committee met on Tuesday last week. Okay. And I'm writing an email. So if anyone has any ideas, come talk to me. End the report.
Okay. Parking, got anything yet? BHS&R?
I reached out to Margaret, but I haven't got tomorrow.
Thanks. All right, upcoming Senate business. Student Fed meeting, Board of Regents meeting, Wednesday, Thursday. Thank you all who are going to be there. We'll give you updates on when we come back. What did you say? Committees for freshmen, we'll get you on committees. One of these, Constitution, PR, GR, SA. We'll send out, some of you will have to just place the Constitution's pretty bare bones. They got 2 people, so we got to give them a break here. So be expecting that within a week. Announcements, Black Hills Brawl, this Saturday. You all better be there. Please, for the love, be there. 6 p.m. up at BH. It's so much fun. So much fun. Do you have any motions? Senator Beaumont.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, seconded by Senator Jensen. All in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Objections? We're adjourned.